Listen, people ask me all the time. One of the most consistent questions that I get asked all the time is, Dr. Sean, is communication the most important thing in a relationship? And you guys know I have a love series every week. We have a love series show, and I talk about love all the time. And one of the things couples often talk about is communication. I happen to think that communication is significant, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing that I think a relationship needs to have, and to all my viewers who are asking right now, is empathy. No relationship can survive without empathy. If you can't feel another's pain or experience somebody else's joy or have a taste of their anxiety or sit in their fear or take up a scoop of their happiness, then it ain't gonna work. I don't care how well you communicate. Y'all can speak 12 languages together, the two of y'all talking French and you answering in Spanish. It ain't gonna work if you don't have empathy. You got to be able to feel one's life and pain as another, to put yourself in their shoes and to project and to see whether or not what they're thinking and feeling is something that you can connect with. And if you can't do that, I'm telling you, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I've seen couples that were married a long time that weren't great communicators, but they understood the sensitivities of each other's hearts, and it lasted. And it continues to last. So the scriptures say, in all thy getting understanding. So Dr. Sean will say, in all thy getting in a relationship or a marriage, get empathy. The problem with that is most of us aren't in touch with our own feelings, let alone to be able to access somebody else. Teach, Dr. Sean. We got to be able to access our feelings first. And if you do it, I promise you, you can work on communication. But if you don't have empathy, can't go anywhere. All right, here's another question. All right, from a viewer, my man has a female best friend who I'm not comfortable with. He said they have never slept together and have no feelings, but I don't like it. Am I insecure or do I have a point? Okay, so you get the question. The question is, so the guy has a female best friend, right? And he wants to know whether or not should he be, no, the guy has a girl who has a male best friend. There it is. And he wants to know, should he be okay with the fact that she has another male friend, or is he insecure? All right, you ready for the answer? The answer to both of those questions are yes. Yes, you are insecure, and yes, you should be okay with it. Because let's just call a thing a thing. You ready for me? I'm coming for you. You ready for me? If people are going to cheat on you, there's nothing you can do about it. Come on, Dr. Sean. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't stop nobody from cheating if that's who they are, if that's what they want to do, if that's how they exist in the world. I don't care how beautiful you are, how loyal you are, how controlling and manipulative and insecure you are. If somebody is going to do it, they're going to do it. Instead of trying to stop somebody from doing something, the more profound position is to free people enough to be bigger than their pettiness and their smallness and their capacity to hurt one another. See, you can't control people's friends. You can't tell people the kind of friends they could have. In fact, who in the hell wants to be in a relationship with somebody who's controlling the kind of friends that they can have? That's a whole nother thing. No, nobody's gonna tell me if I can't have a female friend or a male friend. Are you crazy? No, my mama's dead. And nobody else gets to tell me what to do. She barely got to do it, by the way. No. Stop using manipulation and control as a way to pacify your own insecurity. Yeah, and it's okay to be insecure. Just let that settle down in your spirit. It's okay to be insecure. It's okay to have anxiety. Do you know why you're insecure? Because you care about this woman. You care about this person. And you don't want to lose her, and you don't want bad things to happen. Instead of just calling it insecurity, unpack the truth and sit with that for a moment. And in fact, why don't you tell her that? There you go. Tell her that. Tell her that. And I promise you, she'll line up with you twice as fast. That's what we do. We give people half the story and expect them to give us the whole commitment. It don't work like that. Give her the whole story. So yes, I think if you're with a person that has integrity, that has character, who loves you and is committed to you, she can have a male friend, you can have a female friend. You can do that. But if they don't have integrity and character, and if they were destined to cheat on you, there's nothing you can do about it anyway. I know you don't like that answer, but there it is. Let's do another one. This is kind of fun. Next question. How do you get over someone that you're in love with? Oh, so I'm assuming from this view, the question is this. How do you get over someone that you've broken up with, that you're in love with? Or how do you get over someone that you're in love with who's not in love with you? Those are two very different things. Let's take the first one. How do you get over someone that you're in love with, that you're still in love with, that you've broken up with? Well, it's a simple, easy way to do it. Every now and then you got this, it works in both ways. In order to sustain a relationship, you have to remember why you got together. The reasons that create a relationship are the things that sustain it when affection and romance are not enough. When you don't have affection and romance, you need to have reasons. Same thing for this question. When you're trying to get over somebody, right, that you still have feelings for, you got to go back to the reasons you broke up. Teach, Dr. Shaw. You got to go back to the reasons you broke up. There's a reason y'all not together. Don't create something in your mind that never existed in your arms. Oh, this is good. Don't create a relationship that never existed. If you broke up for a reason. And don't tell me, well, I didn't break up with him, or I didn't break up with her, they broke up with me. Well, if people are able to leave you and walk away from you, then your responsibility to yourself is to let them go. If somebody can walk away from you that easily, then you need to let them go for your own self-respect. Remember the reasons why it didn't work out, because those reasons are real and those reasons are still relevant. And make sure that you're not turning people in your mind, turning them into something that they would never could have been and never were in your life. Be honest. Honesty. So Jesus said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's what the book says. Go back to the book and get you a nice cold glass of truth and drink it all and sit with the truth about why this thing didn't work and be honest about it and let that liberate you. Now, here's the other situation. So how is it I can get over someone that I'm in love with who's not in love with me? Ooh, that's very complicated. That's the hard one. Ooh, that's hard, but it can be done. And let me tell you how. Because at a certain point, you have to acknowledge the fact that you've done all you can, you've given all you've had, you've twisted yourself and contorted yourself into all types of shapes and sizes, and it still wasn't good enough. If you have given somebody your best and they have decided that your best is not sufficient for them, then your responsibility, both to the person you claim to love and more so to yourself, is to accept that limitation. Because I'm telling you, if I offer you my best and you don't want it, how in the world can anything I give you after that make you change your mind? Dr. Sean is teaching tonight. How in the world can I give you something else after I've given you my best and you still didn't want it? No. And here's the other thing. Here's the real answer. What about self-respect? What about your own sense of pride? What about understanding that the same God that brought them into your life can bring somebody else into your life? What about the idea that you may have turned somebody who was just supposed to be with you for a season into an eternal commitment in your mind? No, trust life, trust God, trust yourself enough to know that there's life after this. This ain't as good as it gets. I know you still have feelings. But take some of that high-powered energy that you're directing to them and fold it back upon yourself. Give yourself the permission that you need to forgive yourself for being far more in love with somebody than they were with you. Because most of us do that. Hell, I've done it. We're far more in love with people than they are with us. Giving more and more and more and more and more and thinking if I just give you more, it's going to get better. But it's not. It's not going to get better because relationships require, write this word down, reciprocity. reciprocity. Both of us giving, both of us committed, both of us investing, both of us sacrificing. When we do that, the ignition of love, the match of love and longevity can be ignited and they can light the way. But when only one of us is investing, when I'm in the ocean and you're still on the shore, oh my God, I'm in the ocean in love and you on the shore. You're not even in your bathing suit yet. No, I can't work. And you shouldn't want anybody who's not willing to get in the water with you. How about that? You have gone through too much and survived too much, had to deal with too much, but you accept somebody who won't get in the water with you? Nah. Let me end with this. What you're feeling isn't in love, because you ain't in love. What you are is in fear. You're in anxiety, and you're afraid to start over. You're afraid of what letting go and moving on might say about you. That's what you're afraid of. No. You're not. How can you be in love with somebody who's absolutely not in love with you? Love doesn't even work that way. I'm telling you to your face, it's okay. You can start over. You can begin anew. You will find somebody else. Life and love ain't finished with you yet. Trust it. Believe that. Own it and seize it. And get up in the morning and tell everything that's trying to kill you, not today. I've come through too much. I've been through too much. I've suffered too hard to let all the love I have to offer somebody be wasted on somebody who offers me nothing in return. Woo! I feel like preaching. All right, let's do another question. We ought to do this like once a month where I just get on and rant for a half hour. All right. What does it mean to be truly equally yoked? Yes, this question must have came from a church viewer, because the church viewers love to talk, church folks love to talk about being equally yoked. All right. First of all, let me say this. I'm gonna make some of y'all mad, but this is kind of what I do. I don't think a metaphor that deals with cattle and cows should be something that we apply to human relationship. But I understand what's trying to be said. To be evenly yoked or equally yoked means that you find somebody who is compatible with you. It means that you find someone who is congruent. Now, most people think congruent with you educationally, financially, politically. That's not what it means, right? Because you can have a PhD and I can have a GED, and we still be equally and evenly yoked. Because what matters is that we're congruent in the way that we see the world, and the way that we value, wait for it, relationship, and the way that we value each other. If we are equal and even in our sense of the significance of each other's role in each other's lives, then we're equally yoked. It's not about making more money or making less money, and that's superficial, because your money will change. Oh, yes, it will. Now, there are a bunch of folks watching right now saying amen because they know I'm right. Your money will change, but your spirit won't. And if you're nasty and petty and evil and bitter and negative, come on. If that's who you yoked with, and you are good and generous and full of light and optimism and hope, then that ain't gonna work. Stop looking for people that have as much money as you do. Stop looking for people who have as much education and went to the same kind of school. That doesn't make you equally yoked. You want to find someone, wait for it, who believes what you believe. They may not believe it the same way. They may not articulate it the same way. But how is it that you're a believer, right? You're a believer. And you know how we do it in the church: fire, baptized, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Got it. And then you married an atheist. That's going to be a hell of a journey for you. I'm saying find people who organize their lives around a set of values and principles that are similar to yours, not the same. Sameness is not the goal of relationship, not sameness. We don't want sameness. Diversity is critical and important, but find people who at least have a set of values that they're willing to express and live by, so that when you can't reach them because of their behavior, you can reach them through their principles. Teach, Dr. Sean. I'm telling you, man, that's what it means to be equally yoked. That's what it means. Now, just to be clear, I don't know how much I believe in the concept, because I'm not trying to be yoked with nobody, but I'm not married. So, I ain't the person to ask. All right. His next question: how soon is too soon to introduce the person I'm dating to my kids? How soon is too soon to introduce the person I'm dating to my kids? Ooh, now that's a great question. I don't know if I know the answer to that, except to say this, that your children are a precious commodity that must not be exposed to anybody or just anybody at just any time. Your children are not a part of the relationship. They're not a part of your dating scenario. Now, let me say this to you. If it gets to be serious and you guys are monogamous, right? You are monogamous, you are consistently and only dating each other, you've gotten to that point, right? Then I think that's about the time when we need to consider introducing this person to the kids. And let me just say this clearly, all the saved people, close your ears. Now, if you two are sleeping together and somebody's spending the night, you don't want, Joe to come downstairs while little Johnny and Becky are at the breakfast table. They need to have met this person before Joe's walking around with his shirt off. Although that would be an interesting morning. Yeah. If you're engaging in that level of behavior, that level of relation, then the kids and people are spending the night and those interactions are bound to happen. The kids need to know who that is. They need to know who that is, and they need to know what your relationship to them happens to be. And what's important is that you figure out a way to say it. That's what you should be asking me. What you need to be asking me is, how do I introduce the person I'm dating to the kids that I had with somebody else? But you didn't ask me that. You got to wait till the next time I do one of these and I answer that. All right, another question. What do I do? I am quarantined with my significant other, and we are realizing that we are not compatible. I literally, did you hear that question? What do I do? I'm quarantined with my significant other, and we are realizing notice questioner did not say I, but we are realizing that we are not compatible. Well, then, save people, close your ears, because I'm gonna tell you what they're not gonna tell you in church. I'm gonna tell you what most pastors are not going to admit to saying to you. I do not believe you should spend the rest of your life with somebody you are not compatible in agreement and don't want to be with. Sorry. And I'm saying that because I ain't doing it. So I'm not going to tell you to do something I'm not willing to do. I do not believe. Now, do I believe that you should just get divorced when somebody makes you mad or when they don't wash the dishes? I'm not saying that. That's not what the question says. The questioner said that we are not compatible. And I take compatibility to mean something more significant than this person gets on my nerves. That we're finding that we are completely incongruent. We don't believe the same things. We don't function the same things. We don't value the same things. We're incongruent. I mean, what kind of life would it be to spend the rest of your life with somebody who you already know you're not compatible with? So here's my answer to the question. I set it up. Here's my answer to the question. You're gonna have to deal with the hard truth that maybe this is not gonna work. And you guys need to give each other permission to free each other from something that's going to destroy both of you mutually. Yes, embrace the truth. That's been my theme tonight. Embrace the truth. Don't run from it. Don't be mad about it. Don't blame anybody about it. Don't say it's your fault I'm not compatible or you should. No. We're past that. It's the truth. The truth is what it is. If you both realize that you're not compatible, both of you, COVID has blessed you. Being quarantined has blessed you. It has freed you to live the rest of your life, not chained to somebody that maybe you chose, but life didn't choose them for you. Yeah, embrace the truth and say, you know what? Here's what it is. Now, how can we, based upon that truth, treat each other with respect and kindness and give each other the space that we need to do what we're realizing must be done? You are a hell of a moral genius. You have a height. See, people think, I feel this thing in my spirit. People think that you are deep and spiritual and you got it when you can stay with somebody for 40 years and you've been married 50 years. And I agree with that. You are deep and you are spiritual and you have wisdom and forbearance, no doubt about it. But what people miss is this. It takes just as much power, just as much spirituality, just as much genius to recognize that you've made a mistake. Yeah, it does. So I'm saying to the folks who were saying to me in this question, we realize that we're not compatible. Embrace it. Don't be mad about it. Don't be scared. It's okay. It's okay to recognize what's not real and what is, and give each other forgiveness as you give yourself that, and perhaps release each other to live the rest of your lives in scenarios where each of you can flourish. Or get counseling. I'm done.